Welcome to the Ringer NFL show. I'm your host, Sheil Kapadia. Today, we are giving you New Year's resolutions in the NFL. It's that time of year. Everyone's thinking about how to improve themselves in the year 2026. What's going to be different in their lives? We're doing that same exercise in the NFL, going all over the place. The NFL as a whole, certain teams, certain players. We got a bunch of ideas. My guest today is the Ringer's Billy Gil. Let's take a break. We come back with Billy and do some New Year's resolutions. This episode of the Ringer NFL show is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a C captain? Sure, they're both captains, but who is going to run your offense? You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team, so don't settle for just any insurance. When it comes to getting the help you need, State Farm is the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. All right, back on the Ringer NFL show with our friend Billy Gil. We are doing New Year's resolutions around the NFL. But what about you, Billy? I don't want to be cold and just get into it. I mean, do you have a resolution? Do you have plans? Are you a New Year's guy or not? How are we feeling?
What a question. So am I a New Year's guy? Not, I used to be a New Year's guy. I don't want to blame my kids for things, Sheil. I feel like that's not like a nice thing to do. But once you do have kids, like, as you know, things kind of change a little bit. So our New Year's last year, we did the thing that you see like on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, where you like tape a sheet to the roof and you have a bunch of balloons put underneath it, right?
Oh.
And then you go on YouTube or whatever and you can find like a bluey countdown or a countdown that just goes down from, 20 to 10 or whatever it is, right? And then at like 8 o'clock at night or something, we fake the New Year's for my daughters who are still kind of young and don't exactly understand the concept of years overall, much less New Year's Eve. So we count down and then we have like a little dance party and then they go to bed. And then if my wife and myself stay up, we'll celebrate New Year's, but there's a chance that we don't make it till 12 o'clock. So I don't know, not a big New Year's
I'm
guy
the same
in this
way. Yeah,
era of my life. Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, it depends how old you are. Is New Year's a big deal? Is it not a big deal? I'm very much like you. You know, the Indians, for the Indian New Year, you know what you do, Billy? You don't stay up. You wake up early. The next day. And it's like a day-long thing. At least this is, what my parents have told me. You wake up early, then you're visiting different people's houses. You kind of get the whole day to see as many people as you can and celebrate the new year that way. So that might be good if you have like little kids. That might actually be the way to do it. But I don't know that we're going to see that change this year. All right.
Okay.
NFL, Billy. New Year's resolutions. You want to start? You want me to start? How you feeling?
Why don't you start this week? I'll follow your lead on this one.
Okay. I have a big picture one. So I have a New Year's resolution for the NFL. This is the league, something they should resolve to do in the year 2026. And that is fix the NFL draft. Now you might say, what are you talking about, Sheil? It's not broken. Are you giving players more opportunity to pick their teams? That's not what this is about. This is, Charles Barkley called the NFL greedy pigs. I don't know if you saw that. He said they're trying to steal Christmas from the NBA. I think he's probably right about that. They are kind of greedy pigs. And now there's talk about the 18th game. I don't think you want, I don't think players should really want it. But I do think there's a way where they can be greedy pigs that I might be in favor of. So let me give you the idea here. Okay, I'm not the biggest draft guy. You're not the biggest draft guy.
You're not a pig guy either. You're vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm not a pig guy. I'm not a draft guy. So what am I a guy of? Great question. I don't really know. We'll answer that at a later date. But I think part of the reason I don't love the NFL draft is because of the lead up. It's too much. Some guy's a top 5 pick in January. Then we get to April and it's like, oh, this guy doesn't work hard. He can't play in a pro system and all this stuff comes out. Bill Polian suggests Lamar Jackson should play wide receiver. We got 400 mock drafts. We got big boards. Of course, we love the ones we have of those at the Ringer, but everywhere else it's just way
too much,
way too much. And so I think the NFL content machine feels pressured to have new takes and and nobody benefits. So here's the solution: you make the first round of the draft a 32-day event. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So instead of starting on April 23rd, we're going to start on March 21st. I don't know if the math works out perfectly there, but you
Figure it
get the
out.
point. Yeah, around March 21st. One pick a day for 32 days.
Okay.
Every night in prime time, a team announces their pick. We analyze the pick. Was it a steal? Was it a reach? What trade offers did they get? What should the next team do? And then guess what? The next night, we get the second pick. And we go on and on until we get to 32. I think we would get more trades this way because teams have more time. Now they're not working the phones. Oh, shoot, this team's they got to decide on this in 90 seconds. No, you got 24 hours to figure out the trades you want to make. You weren't expecting a guy to be available. Now he's available. It's a month-long event. You can sell each night to a streamer. Just continue to confuse us about where do we find stuff. Yeah, that's part of the fan experience now. Each pick is a primetime event. It can be 8 o'clock, whatever, 9 o'clock every night. And then you can still do day 2 and day 3 of the draft in a city on Friday and Saturday, because I know the NFL likes that event aspect of it. So this is a way you get the event aspect of it. You get to lean into your identity as pigs in slop. And I think it's also a win for team content. All right. That's my New Year's resolution for the NFL.
Okay. I have questions. So day 2 and day 3 of the draft, do those then become like day 33 and 34, whatever of the draft? Like after the first round where you have one pick a day, then the remainder of the draft, do we just speed it up and the rest of the remaining rounds are all in 2 days?
I think so. Now, that could be the start of it. It's sort of like how the NFL did the soft launch of like, hey, we're playing a game on Tuesday, and then they lean into it. So if this works well, you could split those other days up and extend it even further. But I think to start, day 2 and day 3 kind of remain exactly how they are right now.
I like that. And can we do a situation where every day of the draft, because I do like the fact that if you have only one pick a day and you have your premise of we have too much going on before the draft, but let's extend the first round out 30 extra days.
Started sooner.
It's a little, unconventional, but I like it. I'm invested in this. Now, can we have it so that every day it's on a different network to confuse people even more? So it's not like every day it's on ESPN. It's like day 1, don't forget, it's on ESPN, but day 2 is on Peacock, and day 3 is on Prime. Day 4 is on Netflix, and day 5 is on NBC. And then we really kind of confuse everyone as to what's going on.
I love this. And if you're a network, you have to decide. You can only get one. How about that? You only get one. So Netflix, you can't come in and say, we're going to bid on all of these. No, you only get, so if like, is Animal Planet, is that still a channel?
I think so. Yeah, they have the Puppy Bowl, right?
They might be like, hey, we would love the 19th overall pick.
I do
and all
like
the
that.
all the big dogs already bid on the other ones. And so now they can only get one. So let's just lean into the confusion where no one knows where anything's on and I'm here for the little guy. If you're a little channel no one knows about, now you have a chance to get like the 24th pick. So I like that idea.
Do I get the Hallmark channel? What channels? Oh, True TV. Where's True TV?
Your dad's calling you. He's got no idea. It would be great.
I like that. And dragging it out, to your point, people get antsy. Like if you only have 10 minutes, you're not really, maybe you think about making a trade, maybe you don't, but with 24 hours, you can talk yourself into any situation. So there would be many more trades, I would think, in this scenario. I like this fix. I really like this fix.
And we can talk about the trades because you're right. Because sometimes you hear like after the draft, the Eagles wanted to move up with the Chargers. They had a deal in place, but they couldn't call it in on time. And so the Chargers just made their pick. Like those types of stories happen. So now we're getting actual trade. So there you go. That's my New Year's resolution. You let me know if you're listening. Do you like it? Do you not like it? All right, Billy, what do you got for a New Year's resolution?
All right, I have a New Year's resolution for the New York Jets.
They need one.
That is
many, maybe.
They have a number of issues that can be addressed, but I think one of the more pressing ones is intercept the football. Sheil, as you know, the Jets have 0 interceptions this season. As you also know, this is something that has not happened before. The previous record for few interceptions in a season is 2. The fact that they would need 3 in this game when having 0 this season to not be the worst, I even by mistake, I can't understand how you don't intercept a ball that's batted up into the air. It seems impossible. I went back and I looked at what they had last year, and some of it makes a little bit of sense. They traded away their top 4 interceptioners, I would say, or quarterback safeties, people who committed or received the interceptions. They traded away the top 4. So They trade away Ashton Davis. He's on the Dolphins. Last year he had 2. This year he has 1. They trade away Brandon Eccles. He had 2 last year. This year he has 2 for the Steelers. They traded away Jalen Mills. He had 1 last year. This year he's bounced around from the Texas Lions. He has none. And they traded away Sauce Gardner, as we know, in one of the more surprising trades, I think, this season, especially because of the haul that they gave up for him. And poor Sauce Gardner, he has 0 interceptions this year. He only had 1 last year. But what a season for him. What a disappointing season for him in terms of results, because he went from the 1-7 Jets to the Colts, who were primed to make a playoff run. At one point were the number 1 seed in the AFC. Since the trade to the Colts, they have gone 1-6. So he is 2-13 this season. He left a 1-7 team to go to a team who has been 1-6 since he's arrived. Now, things are looking up for the Jets in terms of what they got from him, because they got a 2026 to 2027 first round pick. So this year, the Jets now have presently the number 3 pick, and they're going to have the number 18 pick, which, you know, if it were up to Sheil, you could see on Comedy Central or something, you know? So
good. I like this one. So this actually, I think, isn't getting enough attention. Like the Trey McBride thing should not have been ahead. You know, we talked about it on Sunday. We're like, all right, this actually feels like one of the greatest accomplishments in sports.
It seems impossible that this is going on.
In terms of like likelihood or unlikelihood, to not have like a Hail Mary at the end of a game or the end of a half, or just a quarterback just chucks one up and you catch it. To not have a batted pass at the line of scrimmage, like you said, that gets popped up in the air and a linebacker comes down with it. To go an entire season without having one of those. Like we watch games all the time and you see 4 interceptions in a game. To not have one the entire season. I think this is greater than the Ripken streak, the DiMaggio streak, the McBride record, the Myles Garrett sack thing. This is something I think in terms of what we might never see again in our lifetimes. Now I'm older than you. You might live a healthier, so we don't need to get into that, how long we're going to live. But I think in my lifetime, I'll speak for myself, I don't know that I'll ever see this again.
It seems wrong. The first time I heard it a couple weeks ago, I was like, this cannot possibly be right. This must be like for the month of December. Maybe this is dating back to Thanksgiving. Maybe this is like the last 2 months. But like, no, the entire season, they haven't been able to intercept the ball once. By fluke, you can intercept the ball. Like, I just don't understand it, because it doesn't even come down to your ability to be good to intercept the ball. You just need the other quarterback to make a dumb mistake and just toss it right to you. And even that hasn't happened. It's insane that this is where we're at. But I think, like you, while I'm saying this is a New Year's resolution, I'd like this to be a new football year resolution in terms of I'd like them to intercept the ball next season and not this season. Like this last week of the season, I do not want them to intercept the ball. I want the season to end with 0 interceptions. Yeah.
I want this streak to live on. And then 2026, to your point, resolve to get 1 interception next year. I think that would be a nice step up. All right, let's take a break. We come back. We got a couple more New Year's resolutions. All right, we're back here on the Ringer NFL show. All right, I'm up next. Okay. I have a New Year's resolution, Billy. This is both for the Raiders and Maxx Crosby. It's finally time for a trade. You know, I think this is one, I'll be honest, I've talked about this before. I talked about it in previous years, and it's never happened. Every time Maxx Crosby says, I love being a Raider, the Raiders say, we're going to give you a new contract. But right now, this roster is horrendous. They're not close to competing. They're likely going to start over again. They tried for the quick fix with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll. They need good young players. And like their only way to get good young players is to acquire draft picks. And their only way to acquire draft picks is trading Maxx Crosby. You mentioned it. We saw the Sauce Gardner trade. We saw Micah Parsons trade. We saw Quinnen Williams trade. Like you can get at least 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby, maybe more than that. He'll be 29 next year. He's got a very tradable contract. I'm looking at teams. I just went through the standings. I don't know if you ever do this. Like who could be interested in Maxx Crosby? It was too many to name. I'm like Eagles, Bills, Patriots, Bengals, Commanders, Bears, Lions. Then I quit because I'm like, I don't want to just name every team in the NFL. But the point is there's going to be a huge market for Maxx Crosby. And if you're the Raiders, load up on picks the next 2 years. Try to build the roster the right way. And if you're Crosby, I respect the loyalty to the Raiders. But now for the first time, I don't know, did you see the whole story about him being sent home? We haven't talked about that.
There was a walkout and he came back. It was a whole thing. Yeah.
Whole thing. Yeah. He's got this knee injury. They're playing the Giants. It seems like they're tanking, but they're saying, we're not tanking. We just finally looked at an x-ray and his knee was too injured. It would be irresponsible for us to put him out there. And he's like, I want to play through it. He leaves the facility. He comes back, but Jay Glazer's like, I talk to Maxx Crosby on the phone every day, and maybe his future is in doubt with the Raiders, which we've never really heard before. So I want Maxx Crosby. Don't you want to be in big moments, in big games, know what it feels like to play with maybe just one other good player on defense, maybe compete for a Super Bowl? This is the time. No one's going to think any less of you. So I'm resolving for the Raiders to trade Maxx Crosby and for Maxx Crosby to tell them, now's the time for a trade.
I think this is one of those things where, to your point, this has been, a good relationship for us, but we've grown apart, and let's end things amicably and leave. You mentioned Jay Glazer. Did you see Jay Glazer? So Jay Glazer somehow is everywhere at the same time. He knows everything that's going on with everyone that things are going on with, even if they don't know what's going on. Jay Glazer will tell you, hey, this is going on in your life. Yeah. Jay Glazer had the rare report during the Fox pregame show of things that were happening with a member of the CBS pregame show when he was reporting that Matt Ryan was in talks with taking like a senior advisor role with the Falcons, which is a situation where it's like, he's not a player, he's an analyst on the other channel that's on right now, and now we're talking to him because someone's telling Jay, hey, you know what I heard is going to happen? I think Matt Ryan may go to the Falcons. By the way, what a showing by the Falcons on Monday Night Football this week.
What a game. What a performance. But no, I thought they were going a little overboard. It's like their season's over. It's like, so, but I want to get back to what you said, because I know you like to look for the under the radar conflicts, or just potential. We did the whole thing about who was it? Phillip Rivers. Maybe he's got some kind of thing with Matthew Stafford and he's coming back to get. Do you think this is one of those where they say to Jay in the production meeting, hey, CBS, the ratings are going up a little bit, we need to do something. And he says, I got this. I'm a team player. And now all of a sudden, CBS thinks they're feeling good. And now one of their guys on their pregame show could be leaving to go be. And what's interesting about this? They say it would be a high level position with the Falcons. Now, the Falcons have not technically fired their GM, Terry Fontenot, but I think they would be within reason. So I wonder what Terry Fontenot thought about that, where he's watching it go, wait a minute, high level position, I'm the GM. Does this mean is that the way he found out, hey, I might be out of a job here? So a lot of things going on with that story. Network, rivalries, a GM potentially being fired. Very interesting story that I think went under the radar this weekend.
So are you saying, because you said, hey, someone called Jeff Fox or whatever, gives Jay the call and says, hey, you know what, got to keep an eye on that other pregame show, maybe kind of put a report out there. Are you implying that maybe Jay is kind of forcing this story to happen? Like, because Jay, as you know, as I know, Jay has sources everywhere. He's talking to everyone. Record. Yeah. And I'm not implying this is happening. Let me get out in front of it. Sheil's not implying this is happening. But when you have that reputation of always knowing what's going on, if Jay calls you and you're the Falcons and says, hey, I'm just checking in here because I'm hearing that there's other teams interested in Matt Ryan, giving him a high level job in the front office. Like, I can't reveal my sources. I can't tell you which division or whatever, but like, I'm hearing this Matt Ryan's getting a lot of attention right now. Yeah. Is that something you guys were thinking about? Because it would make sense with you guys. I'm not sure it makes sense with these other teams. And then they say, well, no, we like now with us. And then they hang up the phone like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. That might work. And why should that work for someone else? That should work for us. Matt Ryan's our guy. We're not going to let Matt Ryan go to another team here. And then they say, Jay, you know what? I'm sorry. I was out of the loop on this one. You're absolutely right. Yeah. We are interested in Matt Ryan. He says, perfect. And then he goes on the air and then he starts reporting. He says, guess what I've been hearing? I've been hearing that the Falcons are interested in Matt Ryan. And then he puts it out there and it's like, whoa. And it was really just Jay Glazer going out there potentially and kind of putting the news out there, kind of he's being a newsmaker in that situation, possibly.
You know why I love that so much is because like NFL teams kind of operate this way. Like the Falcons part of that was not unrealistic to me at all. Where like they hadn't thought about it at all. But then Jay Glazer calls them and they're like, like he was kind of a good player for us. He seems like a smart guy. Or maybe Jay Glazer called him up and said, hey, I don't know if you guys are talking to Matt Ryan, but I'm hearing he would kind of be interested in a front office role, if the right opportunity arose. And then the same thing. They say, well, we haven't, but then they call back and say, maybe they even lie. They say, Jay, we like to take care of you, but listen, this was something we really wanted to keep confidential, but just between us, on background, that is something we're considering. I would like to know how that story got out there. That's very interesting. Okay, I have no idea how we got on that. But Maxx Crosby, Matt Ryan, fantastic. We got there somehow. What's your next New Year's resolution, Bill?
My next New Year's resolution is for the Buffalo Bills. And it is for the Buffalo Bills to get Josh Allen a number one receiver. Josh can only do so much. He was the MVP of the league last year. You've seen at times he kind of carries this team on his back. They've tried with Keon Coleman. They've tried with Shakir. They've tried to get him receivers, but they just haven't gotten him that number one. Now, how do they do this? Do they do this now in the 32-day first round of the draft? I don't know. But you could go out there. There are free agents out there this year, Sheil, that might work should they have, the cap room, which you can always make cap room if you really want to make things work, right? You have George Pickens out there that you can get for Josh Allen. Imagine George Pickens in Buffalo. You have Wendell Robinson that you can get out there. I mean, he's been good on not a very good team. You have not as sexy a name, but Alec Pierce is going to be a free agent this year that you can potentially go and get Josh Allen. Now, these aren't necessarily number ones, but they are quality Juwan Jennings you can go and you can try to get him. Mike Evans is going to be a free agent. You can kind of go get him a solid piece out there. And now here's one little bit off the radar, probably. We haven't seen him play this year because of injury. Got injured early on the season, but all reports are Tyreek Hill is going to be released by the Dolphins. Does Tyreek Hill go up to Buffalo and kind of have one last season in him? You could go the draft right, you get Carnell Tate, you get Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. I think that this is the year that the Bills need to go and not just make the effort, but they need to hit on a number one wide receiver for Josh Allen, because you don't want this to be another situation with Josh Allen where the thing that was standing in his way all of these years we thought was Patrick Mahomes. Well, guess what? Now Patrick Mahomes is out of the playoffs, and the Chiefs dynasty seems to be on the way out. There's going to be changes in Kansas City. They're going to have different personnel. Travis Kelce may retire. So the Chiefs don't seemingly exist anymore the way that they used to in terms of getting in the way of the Buffalo Bills. There are other threats out there, though, that could, Joe Burrow could have, a resurgence, and he can now become another threat. The Ravens get it together, they can become threats. But seemingly there's a lane here for the Bills. They just need to get the right pieces for Josh Allen, because we've seen he can only do so much on his own.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you remember the Brandon Beane radio interview from last offseason? Do you remember what happened there? He is on hold with a Buffalo radio station. And while he's on hold, I'm sure you've been in this situation, right? You're on hold for the radio station and you can actually hear the show. So he's listening to the show and they're talking about, the Bills need, and they were ahead of it. I mean, these guys had it as a resolution for 2025. Last year. And he's listening to it. And then he comes on and he starts ripping into him. All this talk about a new wide receiver. Do you know where we ranked in offensive this and offensive that? I mean, I haven't heard a GM go after radio hosts like this, especially just being on hold. It was like nothing they said directly to him. And he rips them and thinks it's a crazy idea. And then at the trade deadline this year, what do we see the reports of? Bills tried to trade for Jalen Waddle, tried to trade. So I think they would love to do this. They would love to trade for or acquire a number one wide receiver. I'll be honest, those names you mentioned, none of them got me that enthused. I almost think like they're going to have to wait to see, like, is there a disgruntled guy who wants to be Trade maybe AJ Brown. Let's see how this Eagles season ends. That would be all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to go play with Josh Allen. Eagles are saying, all right, we don't really pass the ball anyway. He's unhappy. Let's get picks for him. I do agree with you because I think if the Bills waste this opportunity of playoffs without Mahomes and without Mahomes and Burrow and Jackson, and it's like, this isn't the Bills' best team. Like, they don't have a great team around Josh Allen. They have a chance, but I also think there's a chance we look at it and their season ends and we go, man, they just didn't have enough.
Yeah, I think that might be where this season goes. But listen, Sheil, these are New Year's resolutions. We can think of this in any way we want, and we can just pick someone off another team. So who might be out there? Hey, how about this situation? Let's say the Steelers miss out on the playoffs, right? Aaron Rodgers says, you know what? I'm going to retire. The Steelers are looking around. Maybe Tomlin says, hey, guys, I've been giving this some thought. I think I need a change. Like, I'm going to step down as the Steelers head coach. So this is now a team that's in total disarray. They don't have a quarterback. They need to find a new head coach. They start looking around. How do we rebuild? How do we find the right pieces? Oh, we have this wide receiver we just acquired in DK Metcalf, who missed the last 2 games of the season because of his dust-up, let's call it, with a fan.
Yeah.
We seemingly missed the playoffs and our opportunity because of said dust-up. Maybe we can get something for him. Buffalo Bills give him a call and they say, you know what? I think we'd be willing to take on DK Metcalf. What do you think about that?
I love that because now you have DK Metcalf, Khalil Shakir, the tight ends. And also, how about this? Mayor of Buffalo steps in. I don't know who that is, but they say, hey, DK, you know that fan who by all accounts seemed like a jerk? We are not allowing him in Buffalo. He would have to go kind of further than Buffalo city limits, I think, because they're technically in Orchard Park, I believe. But they can work it out. Yeah, they can work it out.
Yeah, call the governor, Kathy Hochul, I think, right? Is the governor of New York. I don't even know. I think that's the governor. Call the governor and say, hey, listen, Madam Governor, we need to figure this out. We need to ban that fan from the state of New York entirely. And then the governor says, and I guess it's DK? Absolutely. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then you should ban that fan from the state of New York.
We know that he doesn't mind playing in the cold weather. He got traded to Pittsburgh. He liked that trade. So now you go to Buffalo. You get to play with Josh Allen. You get to try to win a Super Bowl. You still get a good contract. And I love how you said, Madam. I love that. And Madam Governor is blocking that fan from your state. You don't have to worry about that jabroni. I think we can call him a jabroni. We don't know all the details. Wow. He seems like a jabroni. We can get him out of here. He's not going to be anywhere near here. You're going to be good to go. You're not getting suspended as a member of the Buffalo Bills. So I like that one. Were you right about the governor? I saw you Googling right there.
I was right. Okay, I'm not sure if the pronunciation was right, but we're good.
I'm going to take people as we end here behind the curtain. It's very exciting when you're podcasting and the person you're podcasting with, you see him type and the wheel starts spinning.
I was nervous. I went out on a limb there.
What are they looking up right now? What nugget do they need to unearth? So you don't have to worry about, I caught you. Most podcasters would not be able to catch you there. I was able to, Billy. All right. Those are our New Year's resolutions in the NFL. We're in the holiday spirit. That was fun. I had a great time. I could have gone for 3 hours. I had other ones. Coaches sleeping in their offices. Don't need to do it. Coaches, no hiring your kids. That's a good New Year's resolution. How about this one, Billy? NFL insiders, no using up to in contract reports. You know what I'm saying? Where they're like, oh, this contract is worth up to $35 million per year. And then the contract comes out and it's $7 million per year unless the wide receiver has like 4,000 yards. Don't be using up to. So those were a little cutting room floor. Maybe we do this again next year. I come back and I expand on them. But that was a lot of fun with Billy Gil. Thanks to Billy. No hurry up today. Too many resolutions to get to. Appreciate everyone listening. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you to Christopher Sutton for producing. Alysha, Tsuji on social, and additional production supervision by Conor, Nevins, and Arjuna, Ramgopowell. I'm Sheil Kapadia. We will talk to you tomorrow on the Ringer NFL Show. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.